Do you owe citizens an apology for being absent while their homes were burning? Do you regret cutting the fire department budget by millions of dollars, Madam Mayor? Have you nothing to say today?
Can you back up, boss? Appreciate it.
Have you absolutely nothing to say to the citizens today?
Mayor Karen Bass says she's investigating the decision she made to head to Ghana days before the LA fires. She also wants doctors to open her brain to find out why she's so stupid.
Greg Gutfeld just dropped a truth bomb so massive, even Karen Bass's Wi-Fi tried to log off in self-defense. 1 second she's delivering a polished political speech. The next she's starring in a roast she never auditioned for. You won't believe how fast this thing went from official statement to official meltdown. If you thought politicians were good at dodging accountability, wait till you see this live demonstration of dodge, spin, and fail. Buckle up. Greg didn't just go off script, he tore the whole teleprompter apart.
Senator Mayor Karen Bass put the gone in Ghana for the president's inauguration. A Sky News reporter confronted her about it when she finally got back, and Karen had a ton to say.
Elon Musk says that you're utterly incompetent. Are you considering your position?
If you're enjoying this, hit that subscribe button. Seriously, it helps more than you think. Some politicians hide behind fancy words. Karen Bass hides behind press conferences so long you forget what the original question was. Every time she grabs a mic, Los Angeles collectively braces like someone just yelled, "Incoming!" Because somehow, every time she talks about fixing the city, a new scandal, tent, or carjacking pops up out of nowhere. Like she accidentally unlocked a disaster DLC pack for real life.
Once again, Karen Bass talks out of her ass. Because when destruction occurs, it's everyone's fault but hers. LA Mayor Karen Bass is demanding an investigation into her trip to Ghana. The H is silent. As the LA fires erupted, a trip she made the decision to embark on. Roll it, Lance.
Although there were warnings that I frankly wasn't aware of, I think our preparation wasn't what it typically is.
And Greg Gutfeld saw every frame of it. He didn't just watch, he studied it like a documentary, popcorn in hand. "Let's talk about this circus," he said. "Because what's more entertaining than a mayor who turns every city update into a plot twist? One day it's ending homelessness, the next it's homelessness, the sequel. It's not governance. It's a franchise."
Wants to know how she ended up thousands of miles away in Africa. It seems to me like it's pretty simple. She hopped on a plane and flew there. What, did someone blindfold her, throw her in the back of a trunk, and bing, bang, boom, she ended up in Ghana? Nope, she booked the trip, and as mayor, she lives in LA where fires are a part of life. Blaming her absence on someone else is kind of like blaming your hangover on the bartender. It's all on you, Mayor Bass, which means you'll probably be governor in no time.
Karen Bass thinks every problem can be fixed by forming another committee, which in LA means, "We've decided to discuss this for 5 years while the problem builds condos." Gutfeld had a field day with that one. He roasted how the city's solution to everything is to hire more consultants. Because nothing screams progress like paying someone 6 figures to write a report that says, "We should do something."
This is an audacious play. You know, it's like OJ saying, like, we need to find the killer.
Yeah. It's like, good luck, Nancy Drew, with this mystery. How did you end up on another continent on a trip that you chose to go on? She's like, we don't know the details, but we're looking into it.
Yeah.
She also promised as a candidate not to leave the country ever as mayor. She loved to go to Africa, she said, but not anymore. Once I'm mayor, she listed like 5 cities she would ever go to, and that's it. And then here she is for the 4th or 5th time overseas, and this happens. And she's, I guess, so out of any other excuse or idea that she said, we're investigating our...
LA residents are living through real-life chaos. Traffic, crime, inflation, all under a mayor who treats optimism like it's an actual policy. She keeps promising to make LA a city of the future. But no one realized that future would look like a deleted scene from Mad Max. Greg doesn't even need fancy visuals to expose her, just reality. It's like watching someone brag about ending hunger by renaming it food insecurity. That's Bass logic. When she took office, she promised to unite the city, and technically she did. Liberals, conservatives, renters, landlords, even pigeons are now united in frustration. Greg joked that LA should just compose its own national anthem of collective complaining. But his real punchline? Every one of Bass's plans requires two things: money and faith. The money comes from taxpayers. The faith, well, that's gone missing somewhere between abandoned projects and half-built dreams. LA has officially mastered being half safe, half clean, and half governed.
While LA Burn just got smoletted. The LA mayor claims ICE kidnapped a minor. One problem for Karen: the story's a hoax. The so-called victim, a Mexican national, is now facing federal charges for faking her own kidnapping and blaming ICE. The DOJ says Yuriana Calderon staged the whole thing.
Gutfeld called out how the city spends millions on temporary housing that takes so long to finish. Half the homeless population has already moved on, or built their own neighborhood next door. Bass loves ribbon cuttings for buildings that only exist in PowerPoint. But the real comedy? Her relationship with reality. It's on again, off again, mostly off. Every time crime spikes, she acts shocked, like she just discovered gravity. "We didn't see this coming," she says, while everyone in LA collectively yells, "We did!" Gutfeld thrives on irony, and Bass delivers it daily. When she claims the city is safer, LAPD's crime report walks on stage like, "You sure about that?" When she says the streets are cleaner, sanitation workers send postcards from the trenches. And every time she celebrates a 1% reduction in homelessness, someone's catalytic converter gets stolen mid-sentence.
You wanted endangered fish? I'd say it's the Karen Bass. Her career is up in flames. She called for unity amid this crisis. There is unity. Everybody there thinks you're a full-blown idiot who should resign. I do think you're going to see rage in the next couple of years, because you can't fight fire with platitudes, pronouns, and politics. You need practical solutions.
Here's the irony that drives Greg nuts. Karen Bass has the calm of a yoga instructor while the city collapses behind her. She smiles through chaos, nods through scandal, and delivers speeches that sound like they were generated by an AI trained on toxic positivity. When she says things are moving in the right direction, no one knows what direction that is. Because the only thing moving fast in LA is the U-Haul line to Texas. Greg joked that soon, the city will just be her, the press, and a pile of uncharged electric scooters, which she once called symbols of sustainability. Now they're fossilized on sidewalks, relics of failed ideas. The city that wanted to be futuristic now looks like a tech apocalypse set piece. Every new update feels like another state of emergency sequel. Homelessness, crime, you name it.
She says it's horrible. She does with a smile.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that?
Yes.
It's weird.
It's freaky, and it's one of those things where it's like, I mean, wouldn't we all want to have this excuse where I would be like, babe, I'm investigating how I went to the strip club as well. I don't know how that happened. It is under investigation. The winds were blowing that way, but I didn't know, and do I have a chainsaw?
See, on top of emergency, topped with an emergency press conference. Gutfeld joked that Bass doesn't need a communications director. She needs a fire alarm. But what really blew people away wasn't her policies. It was her confidence. The way she walks into meetings like she's about to cure chaos, only to announce another study about the chaos. She doesn't solve problems. She commissions essays on them. Greg nailed it. Every speech is like watching someone repaint a burning house and calling it urban renewal. Her entire leadership philosophy seems built on the hope that optimism can outshout logic. And the wildest part? Her supporters double down like Greg's the issue. By the time his breakdown hit halfway, it didn't feel like commentary anymore. It felt like stand-up comedy disguised as civic education.
That offer practical solutions were ignored. Water management, forest management, power line safety, brush clearing, vegetation clearing. You don't fight it with a climate agenda, a DEI agenda, or even a political agenda. And you hear Democrats and the media criticizing Trump and others for speaking out as the tragedy unfolds, as if they don't do it during every mass shooting. But here's the difference. You can't speak out if you were warning people years before.
Funniest part? Bass talks about bold action like she's teasing the next Marvel movie. Except instead of heroes, it's another task force with matching tote bags. Gutfeld quipped, LA doesn't need another task force. It needs a functioning task. Every one of her speeches sounds like a motivational riddle. 10 minutes later, nobody knows if she's raising, cutting, or just funding confusion. She juggles contradictions like a Vegas act. When things go wrong, she throws numbers around like poker chips. Crime is down 2%, she says, ignoring that it's up 50% from last year. Greg joked that her stats team must be throwing darts at a board labeled random facts. And of course, her obsession with image control. Every bad headline is just a stain she tries to spin away.
But you're right. Like the mayor, Karen Bass, she was in Africa at a party. Why was she, who's ever been like, oh, this party sucks, we need Karen Bass? Like, I mean, the last thing you wanted at a party is more Karens. You know?
Exposed how her team spends more time staging progress than making it. Because in LA, image isn't everything. It's the only thing. He pointed out how she always takes credit for fixes that magically happen right before the cameras roll. Homeless camps vanish 24 hours before her photo op, only to respawn the next day like it's Grand Theft Auto, Downtown Edition. Greg doesn't even need to exaggerate. It's performance art at this point. He once said Bass runs the city like a Hollywood set. Perfect lighting, smiling extras, nothing real behind the backdrop. As long as it looks like progress, she's satisfied. She's the first mayor who could turn a budget deficit into an inspirational TED Talk. Greg loves that irony, a mayor who preaches transparency while burying bad news faster than potholes.
LA mother on her way to work, but prosecutors say it was a hoax. Karen swears by the story, saying she heard about it from her boyfriend.
Then there's her idea of community trust. Nothing says trust like doubling consultant budgets while people can't trust their cars to have catalytic converters by morning. It's poetic, rebuilding faith in government by proving exactly why nobody has any. Greg roasted how her town halls feel like group therapy for broken policies. Citizens show up desperate for answers, and she gives them motivational quotes about civic unity. It's like watching a self-help audiobook run for office. She'll preach affordable housing, while standing next to developers whose version of affordable requires a 6-figure income and 3 roommates. The whole thing's a real estate magic show. Money disappears, nothing gets built, and the applause sign still flashes. Greg joked, if speeches could fill potholes, LA would have the smoothest roads in America.
The Pacific Palisades, still very fluid. People are desperately trying to get into the neighborhood because we're hearing about looters. We're seeing videos of people on bikes. Maybe they're scoping out neighborhoods where some homes still stand, and they're convinced that there will be easy passage. And people are really desperate to get in, check on their homes. It's still very difficult to access information.
Instead, residents are dodging craters deep enough to earn their own postal codes. But Gutfeld's most savage point was about how completely detached Bass seems from real life. Ask her about rising costs. She'll talk about economic momentum. Bring crime. She pivots to restorative justice. Greg said it's like watching someone describe a fire while roasting marshmallows over it. And the best part? The audience reaction. Every time he dismantles her logic, social media lights up. Not because she's uniquely terrible, but because she's the perfect symbol of a system built on pretending everything's fine. Greg doesn't rage. He laughs, and through that laughter, he exposes the absurdity of it all. Because when your city looks like this, you either laugh or cry.